I think it's really common for a lot of us to feel like we're just going through bad luck. We go through a rut in life and it's just like bad thing after bad thing after bad thing starts happening. I'm pretty sure we all know that feeling. And it's kind of like, well, damn, what's coming next? Something else bad. And I don't know, maybe it's actions from your past life. Maybe it's karma, whatever you believe in. But that tends to happen to some of us in certain points of our life. And that is definitely happening to Carmelo Anthony. But we don't really have to guess why. And we don't have to think about karma and past lives. We know exactly why everything is going to shit for Carmelo Anthony. And it has just gotten worse today, folks. It has gotten a lot worse because now he's set for an arraignment July 18th, and we now know the judge who will be presiding over the case. And boy, oh boy, it is not looking good. Now, a lot of people said, the other judge, she was biased, this, that, and the other. What was her name? We had Angela Tucker. People said she was biased. She's buying time for a black kid, this, that, and the other. I told everybody, just chill out. It's not that serious because she's not going to be the one presiding over the case. I said that from day one. She's not looking over that case. She handled his bond. I honestly think it's just a randomized lottery ticket type of situation to just see what judge presides. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we now know who that judge is, and that is Judge John Roach Jr., okay? Now, John Roach Jr. has a bit of a background that we're going to get into a little bit later. But first and foremost, let's see what Sarah Fields had to say because she uncovered this. She uncovered the arraignment, and a lot more documentation is on the way out as well. So stay tuned, and let's figure out who this judge is now. So now we move forward and we get to hear a few more things about the process and what we can expect to see coming forward, right? So it goes to say, Carmelo Anthony's arraignment is scheduled for July 18th, 2025. According to multiple sources, his trial date more likely will not be set until 2026. Okay, this is going to be a long road. And if he has any good defense, which we're going to get into that later because it seems that he doesn't, but if he has any good defense, he will try to stretch this out as long as possible. First step of business is for it to fall out of thought of the public image. And the second order of business is probably trying to figure out another plea deal. I don't really buy that he didn't take a plea deal. I just feel that defense has more of a feeling that they could argue out a better deal further down the line if they could argue certain things out. That's what I think this is. I think it's more of a strategic move. But anyway, long story short, we want time. More time, that means more time out of jail, more time on, house arrest, staying in the house, being comfortable, right? Let's move forward. Now that the indictment is in place, the case has been assigned to the 296th District Court under Judge John Roach. Roach has the authority to overturn the magistrate's decision to reduce Anthony's bond from $1 million to $250,000. Judge Roach, a conservative Republican, handled the case of Azizi Yarand, a former Plano West Senior High School student who plotted a mass S-word at Frisco Stone Barrier Center and other locations, sentencing him to 20 years in prison. Now, one thing I will say, I don't think the judge is going to bother in terms of increasing his bond. One, the family won't be able to pay that, obviously. He'll have to go back to jail. That's going to cause a lot of outrage from one side, and I just don't think he's going to want to deal with that. And two, I feel like because he's just now, it's already been put in place by another judge, I highly doubt he's going to upgrade the bond. But the one point I do want to point out is that this is a very tough judge, and we're going to look into his background really soon. I think this is the worst judge Carmelo Anthony could have possibly got. You know what I'm saying? White judge, conservative judge. You know what I'm saying? Military background? Question mark. Whenever there's military backgrounds to somebody in that type of a position, you know that punishment in their brain, they believe in it. They believe in consequences and punishment. I mean, the military's all about that shit, right? It gets dark. Let's move forward, though. And keep in mind, Azizi Yarin, or whatever that person's name is, they just plotted the mass S word. They didn't even do it. You know what I'm saying? 20 years. I know Karmelo probably pooped himself just a little bit when he looked into the judge, because trust me, Karmelo and the whole family, they're looking into the details every day as it goes along, because, this is his life. But let's move forward. He has shown no leniency towards those who harm children. In one case, he has sentenced a child S-word offender to life in prison without parole. I mean, shit. You don't see that too often, do you? They usually get 3 years and a fucking biscuit. Good. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? He also shown strong support for the veteran community. His term ends in December 2026. 2026 will be an election year for him. Now, we want to even further expound upon that. Election year, judge, you want to put an example down. He's in Texas. Everybody in Texas probably almost unanimously want this kid to go to jail. That's just points on his record book. Now, we don't want to call this a biased situation or anything, but, people are human, and that's definitely going to be weighing on his mind. But anyways, let's move forward and let's meet the man himself, the little we do know about him. So we have his little page and what's not. It says the judge. Judge John Roach was elected to serve as judge of the 296th District Court in 2006, taking office on January 1st, 2007. As a general jurisdiction judge, he presides over felony criminal, family law, civil litigation cases, and cases involving child protective services. He has disposed over 20,000 cases in the last 10 years. Judge Roach has the lowest reversal rate of any judge in Collin County, according to the Westlaw Legal Research website. Now, you can take that whichever way you want. I mean, if you get a conviction, you could say he's damn well going on with that conviction. He's not going to get an appeal. But on the other hand, if you want to say, well, if he gets away with that self-defense charge, he's probably not going to go back on it. Sounds pretty fair to me. Seems like a dead set judge when he makes his mind up, but it also seems like a hard judge. In addition to his regular duties as judge, Judge Roach has made significant changes to the judicial process in Collin County through the use of technology. He developed the Felony Video Plea Program, which is a cooperation of many other officials and the department heads, which uses video conferencing technologies to connect the second jail facility and the courthouse. This connection eliminates the need to have felony prisoners transported to the courthouse for plea hearings. This has decreased the potential liability to the county, made Sheriff Department employees who transfer prisoners safer, has made the employees and general public using the courthouse safer, and has saved in excess of $500,000. So overall, sometimes you have judges that are like, I don't want to say they're morons to technology. They don't really understand what's happening. There might be some video evidence and it goes over their head. They don't really know what's going on. This is not the case. He understands what's going on and he leans into technology. And this whole case kind of circles around some technology. So it's all bad, bro. It's all bad. If you're a Carmelo Anthony supporter, it's looking pretty rough. And I just wanted to point out this one little extra thing about his past. Obviously, the military past. The Marine. Judge Roach was a member of the United States Marine Corps Reserves from 1988 to 1996. Judge Roach was placed on active duty during the Desert Shield Desert Storm. He received the National Defense Service Medal and Good Conduct Medal. As a Marine, he was a crash, fire, and rescue specialist and an emergency medical technician. Congressman Sam Johnson has recently recognized John Roach by awarding him the United States Congressional Veterans Service Award. Prior to the Marine Corps, Judge Roach graduated from Plano East Senior High School. You know what I'm saying? Texas to the bone, military background. Oh, yeah. And again, like I said, the Marines, you do some dumb shit, you get punished severely in the Marines. From the stories I've heard. I'm not a Marine. I don't know. But the Marines out there, y'all let me know. The fact that he has an ex-Marine judge, it's not sounding too good. It's not sounding too good. But let's move forward real quick. So now we have all of this, and we're thinking, okay, Karmelo really has the house stacked up against him. He's really going up against these odds right now. Who's the heavy hitter attorney that he's going to hire? And ladies and gentlemen, I didn't want to believe it, but the more and more time goes on, I'm starting to believe it more, man. They really blew that money. They probably have like $90,000, maybe 120 on a good day. I don't really think they have that money. And now they're going up against this judge, not against, but they're going up with this type of judge presiding over it. And the financials are bad. Nobody's donating to that increase. Everybody who donated to this situation feels a little slighted because now you're telling all the public, you're telling all your supporters. It's almost like I tell you guys, hey, I want to raise some money because I need to upgrade my PC to make new videos. And then you notice a month later, after I raised $10,000, I have like a Rolex on, or I have all this iced out jewelry, and everybody's like, hey, AG, did you upgrade the system? The videos are still blurry as fuck, dog. What's going on? I couldn't afford it. That's basically what that is. You mean to tell all the people who supported you to get this boy supported, because that's what everybody wanted. They wanted Karmelo Anthony to be properly represented against white supremacy, right? You mean to tell me after we spend all this money to support that child, y'all don't got it no more? See, this is why you can't support bullshit. Because I didn't even see that coming, guys. I did not see it coming. I thought they would have used the money to support the kid. They ain't got no fucking money. So anyways, he's been approved for his indigent status. So let's just read this real quick and see what's been happening. So because Karmelo Anthony was approved for indigent defense, it's likely he will not receive a salaried public defender, but instead a private attorney who volunteered or who will be appointed and will be paid by the county using the taxpayer funds. Now, remember, lawyers, they have to do like some pro bono shit. So I think this is kind of a loophole to not really spend money, but to still not get somebody with an extreme load. Like, 12, 13 different cases. So I don't know if they're playing chess over here and they're just really trying to get this service done for free. But that's what's happening right now. Instead of a salaried public defender, they get a private attorney who volunteered. Okay, so I'll take that as pro bono. So it's a little bit better than just having somebody who just is like, okay, bro, well, I have an hour with you. In places like Collin County, this kind of defense is common practice. Private attorneys can request payment either as a flat fee or hourly, around $100 an hour in court and $75 out of court, which court approves, with court approval. Since it is a murder charge, the court might allow higher pay for our hourly billing depending on the complexity. Judge signs off the final compensation. If we desire an audit or transparency check, Angela Paxton and Jeff Leach could oblige if requested. We may want to ask them to review the process that oversaw this approval. Now, I just did a little quick math or some shit, like $100 an hour. Let's say the lawyer worked like 100 hours for you, or like 15, like, let's say he worked like 90 some hours or 300 hours or something like that. That's nowhere near the amount of money they raised, bro. What is that, like $30,000? That's not that much money in terms of the amount they raised. So the fact that they're saying, and obviously you get a more expensive attorney, it's going to be a lot higher of an hourly fee. But I mean, just calculate it. You could get a pretty decent lawyer for a long time with that much money, bro. I'm talking for a long time. $500,000? I just don't understand it, folks. My only thought process about this is that they lost so much money because his dad works at like a dealership or some shit. My only saving grace for this whole situation is that they lost so much money maybe that he wasn't able to provide the way he used to, and now it's like they actually need it. But I don't see that happening. It could be a possibility, though. I mean, he has a distinct face. His son is blasted all over the internet. It could be a thing where his job just ain't jobbing like it used to, But anyways, Sarah Fields just posted up kind of like a legend, if you would, just to see how much things cost. Death penalty could cost about $150 per hour. Actually, let me read the top. It says free schedule for indigent defense court approved appointed attorneys. In all felony cases, except as hereafter provided, counsel shall be paid according to the following fee schedule without exemption. So then we just have it listed out. Like I said, death penalty is $150 an hour. Capital non-death is $100. First degree, $1,000. Oh, probably flat fee. First degree felony, $1,000. Second degree felony, $750 flat fee. Third degree state jail felonies, $500, and so on and so forth. You could just read it. You could pause it and check it out. But all that math just doesn't math up to me to being unable to pay for your own lawyer. We're talking 500, not 100, not 150. We're talking 500,000 racks, stacks. I mean, inflation is a bitch, but that's still a lot of money. But anyways, I just wanted to catch you guys up. That is the judge that will be presiding, Mr. Marine Roach. You know what I'm saying? So if we know anything about roaches, they don't leave no crumbs behind. And it seems like this judge, she don't do that either. So it might be pretty interesting to see how this plays out in the future. It's going to take a little while. 2026 is going to be a minute, but it's going to happen. And I don't see any positive future coming out of this. Who knows? He might walk away free on self-defense, but I highly doubt it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments, man. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like button, support the channel if you may. I'll see y'all real soon. Real soon. Stay inside, stay safe. I love you guys, man. Peace.